Hey folks, John Henning here with the Franchise Radio Show, and today we're joined by Harry Wilk, woodworker and president of Eureka Woodworks Producer Program. Harry, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Now, before we jump into the business stuff, Harry, one of the things I like to cover with our listeners is a little bit about yourself. Can you just give our folks just a 1 or 2 minute overview of Harry Wilk, the woodworker and president? Can you just give us a rundown on who you are before we get into the business stuff?
I sure can. I come from a long line of woodworkers going all the way back to the early 1900s when my grandfather owned Wilk Tool Company in downtown Houston. So I grew up with a love for woodworking, and like a lot of guys that were interested in woodworking, they always wanted to figure out a way to turn their woodworking into a business and make some money with a hobby that they like. And that's what I've developed over the last 15 years is our producer program, which lets woodworkers turn their hobby into a money-making business. I'm 64 years old. I've been doing this since I was a kid, and I love it. My background is more into the financial planning. I'm a licensed stockbroker and financial advisor, but quit that to do this, what I really like to do.
Now, how did you get started in providing the business opportunity in this? Was it something you just decided one day to do? It sounds to me like you already have a passion for this. Is that what it was?
Well, I did have a passion, and where I was living at that time was a beach town. And I noticed that all the chairs in the beach town were plastic and metal, and they just fall apart after a year from the salt and stuff. So I developed a line of outdoor furniture made out of western red cedar using the Adirondack style. And to make it efficient, I started producing jigs and templates and stuff like that. And then I started doing some craft shows and shows at the beach, and people were buying it like crazy. And aspiring woodworkers come up to me and says, "How can you make money at this?" I said, "Well, I make jigs and templates that I've designed that allow me to make an Adirondack chair from start to finish in about 2 hours." I said, "Gosh, I'd be interested in having a business like that." So the old light bulb went off in the head, and I really went to work on it at that point and started developing the Eureka Producer Program.
Great. Can we jump into the company itself? Just give us a breakdown of the history of the company. I mean, some of it bleeds over a little, of course, because you're the chief woodworker, so, you already kind of gave us a breakdown on that side. But tell us a little bit about the company, the history, what you've done over the past few years, that kind of thing.
Well, I started the company in my garage, like a lot of woodworkers, and that was back in 2002. And then I developed a small line of furniture and the handmade jigs and templates to make it efficient. Well, that took off. We started selling these business opportunities, and it grew so fast that I had to have an upgraded facility and move the operation to Dallas, Texas, more of a central location, because we started people wanting to come see us in our shop, and we developed a small shop. Well, then it took off even more from there because we had woodworkers from all over the country and internationally that really liked it. Well, we really knew at that point that we really had to upgrade everything, so we moved into a newer and a bigger facility and bought extensive CNC machines so that we could really design out our factory track jig system, which is trademarked and copyrighted by Eureka Woodworks, which is the heart of the system. And then we wanted to make it so that it was a real value to guys. We built out a complete system with advertising, website materials, sourced all that stuff. And that's where today's producer program is. And we have over 400 producers in the United States, Canada, the Caribbean, Africa, Europe, and soon to be in Russia.
Wow. Okay, great. Can you give us a little bit about what the company actually does from the perspective of somebody, this is the right fit, you go through the due diligence, it's the right fit in both directions. What is it that your company helps them do?
Well, we help them turn their hobby into a money-making business. Most woodworkers don't know how to market their product or how to build it efficiently and make it cost effective. And we're like this giant shortcut. We have developed a complete line of furniture now with almost 50 different items. We have the lumber sourcing down, the hardware sourcing down, we have the jig and templates down, we have the sales and marketing tools down. We have access to us 24/7, basically. Everything is thought out so that the woodworker with home woodworking tools can turn their hobby into a money-making business, and that's what we supply to them, this giant shortcut that puts them into the business.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Can you share with our listeners a little bit about the financial end of the business? I'm sure you get this question a lot from folks when they're speaking with you. Can you kind of just give us maybe a range from some part-time or some full-time folks?
Sure. We have three types of customers. We have a lifestyle customer, a part-time customer, and a full-time customer. Mm-hmm. A lifestyle customer is the woodworker, man or woman, that maybe wants to only do this 3 or 4 months a year. They just want to do it in the summer, and it's just kind of a lifestyle operation. And they're going to make anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 a year as a lifestyle operator. Then we've got part-time and full-time, which make up the vast majority of our producers in the United States and around the world. Mm-hmm. A part-timer, here's what I always tell these people. You can work all weekend building a birdhouse and make $25. You can work all weekend building our line of furniture and make $1,500, $2,000 when you sell the furniture. So there's a real good perceived value, and we've got the costing and the manufacturing down so low that these guys can really make some good money at it. The average part-time guy, and I'm going back to when I did this part-time because I was, like I said, a full-time financial broker, and I was doing it in the nights and on the weekends. There were months where I was making $10,000 to $12,000 part-time. And we've got full-timers now that some have, as many as 8 employees that are doing over $1 million in this outdoor furniture.
Wow. Okay, great. Now, what is it that's unique about your business opportunity? I mean, there's a lot of options out there for folks on today's market. What is it that's unique about your business?
Well, number one, it's proven. Number two is there's nothing else like it. Number three is it is an unbelievable value because we're from the old school. We're not going to give you a bunch of fluff and charge you a bunch of money. You're actually going to get jigs, templates, sales and marketing tools, lumber, stainless steel hardware, all this stuff in your initial package so that if you sold the furniture that you could make out of our initial package, you're going to recoup probably 50 to 75% of your initial investment and still got all the production tools there. All you have to do is buy more lumber and keep going. It's a real touch feel thing. It's not just fluff that you get on the internet and try and sell something that you can't see. This is something that you're building, something you're proud of, something that people appreciate, and something that people buy. We fit this real good niche in that people want high-quality outdoor furniture at an affordable price, and that's the niche we fit.
So let's talk about the folks that are out there doing this today. If you could wave a magic wand and describe for us who your ideal licensee would be, who is that? Can you kind of describe for our listeners someone that fits the mold of what you're looking for from a business perspective? Sure.
They come from blue-collar backgrounds and white-collar backgrounds. They may be production workers in a factory, or they may be computer people in a programmer in a computer company. We have all types of people. And they're generally probably 40 years old or more. We have a lot of husband and wife teams. We have about 15% women only producers in our force. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of a mixed bag of people, but they all have an affection for woodworking as well as a business that's unique. And our business is unique, and that's kind of our mix of people.
Good. Okay, great. That's a great description. Let's talk about the cost quickly to open the business. You had mentioned 3 different packages that you offer. Can you just give us just a real quick package 1 is this, package 2 is that, package 3 is this, and what you call them?
Sure. We actually have 4. We actually reintroduced a very low-cost starter package basically when the economy got real bad because people were real scared about investing too much money. We have the producer program, which starts at $3,995, which allows them to build the basic Adirondack line and gets their toe in the water, so to speak, so that they can say, hey, I'm not investing the family fortune to see if this is really going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you from my experience that we have yet to have anybody that bought the Freedom Starter package that hasn't upgraded almost within the first year.
Gotcha.
Then we have our three basic packages. We have the basic package, which is $7,995. We have the basic plus, which is $14,995. And then we have the master, which is $21,995. And, of course, each program gives you more furniture to build, more materials to build with, more sales and marketing tools, and so on. So they go on up. And I will tell you that over the years that we've been doing this, that about 70% of the purchasers end up buying the Master Producer program because they really want to have the wide breadth of line and all the additional materials that come with that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. And what type of ongoing support is provided to your folks once they come on board and they purchase a package? What are you going to do with them on an ongoing basis?
Well, we tell everybody that once you become a Eureka producer, you're kind of stuck with us because we don't back away from anybody. My cell phone number, my shop manager's cell phone number, and my production manager's phone number are all available because we realize that we have a lot of people that work in the evenings and on weekends, and they need to get a hold of us if they've got questions, and we're available for them. We also have training that they can attend when they sign up if they want to in our shop in Dallas. We have a very extensive manual that's available both online and in paper form it's provided them. So we give them all the support they need plus some.
Good, great. Now, what are we looking at as far as a location here? These folks aren't going out and leasing a location, are they? Are they doing this from home? How does that side of it work?
Well, that's one of the big pluses as opposed to a franchise that our BizOp is. You don't need a big facility to do this. We designed this so that you could work out of a one-car garage because all our jigs and templates are portable. The way we have the lumber that's shipped to you is designed so that it doesn't take up a lot of space, and we show them how to utilize small spaces. Mm-hmm. The average woodworker that signs up for this producer program works out of a two-car garage. Okay, great. Is there any specialized equipment or inventory that's needed beyond? I mean, obviously you need to have some wood to do woodworking. That makes sense. And you're providing them with the jigs and the templates and even some materials up front. But what about the equipment? Are we just looking at normal woodworking equipment here? We designed it so that you could use normal home woodworking equipment. Probably there's a couple of items that most producers don't have, and that's a 14-inch bandsaw and maybe a wide drum sander that they will need. The drum sander they need eventually. The 14-inch bandsaw they need right away. And one of the pluses for Eureka is we're a distributor for Jet and Powermatic. And unlike stores that sell it, we make a very nominal markup for on the tools so that these our new producers can purchase these tools at the lowest possible pricing. Great. Are we looking at a scenario where any of your folks have employees, or is this a one-man show? You had mentioned, and I'd like to touch on that quickly again, that you have several husband-wife operations, but are there any of your owners that are moving beyond that and getting into a scenario where they've got a lot of employees? Yes. We have most of our full-time people are going to have anywhere from 1 to 6 employees. Our number one producer, like I told you, that does over $1 million a year, has 6 employees. Okay. So it is scalable to that side if they choose to move beyond a part-time capacity and they want to do it on a larger scale. Okay, great. Again, that's one of the beauties of the Eureka program. You're not having to invest the family fortune up front. And right. They can scale it up as big or as small as they want to do it. Gotcha. Great. What are we looking at as far as what they actually do every day? I mean, it sounds pretty self-explanatory here from what you've described to us so far, but just give us a
a day in the life of one of your business owners?
Okay. Well, I'll just go back on my experience. Number one is you got to find a place to sell this. And again, part of our training program and our manual goes into wholesale training, how to locate shows and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
As a person starts out, one, they want to become familiar with how to use the jigs and templates and how to build the furniture. But at the same time, we give them a lot of sales and marketing tools that they can use to start generating some immediate business. We tell them that they need to, there's a website they can go to find out about city sales and craft fairs and festivals and stuff that are in their area that might be good. And again, I'm going to deviate a little bit here. One of the things that makes this thing so unique is that you go to a show, and let's say it could be a fishing show, it could be a cooking show, it could be you name it. When our people exhibit, they stick out like a sore thumb, and that's a great thing because you'll see people selling jewelry, you'll be selling cooking stuff, fishing rods, hunting guns, all that kind of stuff, but you don't see people selling furniture. And what that does is that attracts people to your booth like a magnet. So anyway, back to what I was saying is, so you got to kind of find your way on how you're going to sell, and we teach our producers how to sell wholesale, retail, and through the internet. And so they're doing these kind of simultaneous as they're developing their business in their daily work in their business.
Gotcha. Okay, good. So that's the first thing they do, and then so there obviously must be some woodworking that they do every day then as well, depending on how much they're selling, right?
Right. They're going to be building furniture based on the orders they get, and again, a lot of times when people go to shows, you'd be surprised. You can take a lot of orders at shows. You don't have to bring a big inventory to a show to sell unless you want. And then you go back and build the furniture. I give you an example is I used to do, when I lived in South Texas, I used to do the Texas Sand Fest. And I actually had a booth set up on the beach where they built these beautiful sand castles and all that. And my most successful 3-day show there was around $39,000 in sales at that show. And doing this part-time, that took me about 60 days to build all that stuff. They were all... so that's kind of what you're doing. You're out there marketing and building at the same time because you've got to develop your market as to where you're going to sell. You got to decide if you're going to sell retail or you're going to sell retail and wholesale, or you're going to just work through the internet because we do provide a point-of-sale website as part of our packages.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Now, you've made it sound like it's something someone would want to explore for sure. I mean, I'm sure we've piqued some of the interest of some of our listeners here to explore this a little bit further. But let's back up just 1 second here. It can't all be rainbows and everything happy-go-lucky, right? What are the pitfalls or challenges in this business? What should our folks, our listeners, be wary of in this business?
Well, a lot. Here's probably the number one thing we get said. I know I can build it, but how do I sell it? And that's why we work with them very, very hard on showing them how to sell the product. And that's why we make ourselves available. I give you that is probably the number one thing that everybody worries about.
Right.
And we've had people that'll call us up and say, well, I'm at this show and I just can't get anybody to come over to do them. And we give them a few tips and they call back the next day and they say, God, those things you told me, man, people are coming in my booth now. Or I haven't ever thought about trying that. So that is probably the number one pitfall on it, even though our furniture pretty well sells itself. We tell people if they see it, you're going to sell it. So that's probably the biggest challenge is figuring out how you're going to sell it. But we work with them very, very closely on the retail sales, the wholesale sales, how to sell through the internet, how to advertise, where to market, all that kind of stuff, so that they can feel comfortable in the sales aspect. Because we have a lot of people that don't come from a sales background, and that word no just is a devastating word sometimes to people. I always tell them, I say, well, as ugly as I am, I've been told the word no plenty of times, so it doesn't more. But, But you shouldn't be afraid of the word no. That just presents an opportunity. Well, why didn't you buy? Well, ask the guy.
Right.
They'll tell you, I'm not interested. I don't like the style of furniture, or maybe it's too much. Maybe you've got your pricing a little needs to be tweaked. Maybe you need to be promoting a set. Maybe you're selling in the wrong marketplace. A lot of times guys will go and gals will go and they'll sell in a flea market where a person's coming there to buy a $10 chair. Well,
right.
You're not going to sell our furniture in that flea market. But let's say you go to the Botanical Garden fundraising sale. Well, who usually goes to Botanical Garden? Your customer. And guess what? You're selling furniture. There's not a lot of selling involved. It's really more picking the venue to sell it.
Gotcha. Well, it sounds like you've been down that road and taken the black eyes and bloody noses, so it sounds like you're able to help your folks get a good start and help them ongoing as well. Now, we're coming up to the end of 2014 here. What are you looking at for 2015? Any goals, aspirations? Where are you looking to take the company, that kind of thing?
Yes, we are going to introduce some more new products that'll help our producers do even better in 2015, and we're hoping that we will add another probably 72 to 96 producers in that year. The main thing is we continue to finely tune the producer program. We are tinkering with it all the time to make it better. Make it the best value of a business opportunity that's out there in the market.
Sounds good. Is there anything else, Harry, that you want to emphasize or cover with our listeners? I know that, a featured interview like this can't possibly cover everything about your business in just a few minutes, and I do hope that some of the listeners here will reach out to you. We'll make sure to include your contact information on the page here for them and everything, and if you'd like, you're welcome to share your direct website right here in the actual show as well. But is there anything that you want to emphasize for our folks as we wrap things up?
Sure. If you're looking to go into business for yourself or turn your hobby into a money-making business, Eureka Producer Program, I think, is absolutely the best value out there in the market because we have 4 different investment levels. It's a complete turnkey program. Everything is well thought out. It's been proven from the products to the manufacturing to the sales and marketing. We have experienced it, and we'd like for you to give us a call. Our website is www.eurekabusiness.com. That's EUREKABUSINESS.com. Or give us a call, 877-212-1147. We'll be happy to visit with you. The good thing you'll find out about Eureka is that we're woodworkers first and not professional sales guys. So we're not going to beat you up and try and close you on the first sale. We're going to answer your questions, let you make the decision. And if you don't become a producer, we're still going to be friends.
Sounds good, Harry. Thank you so much. There you have it, folks. John Henning here with the Franchise Radio Show. And today we were joined by Harry Wilk, woodworker and president of the Eureka Woodworks Producer Program. Harry, thank you so much.
Thanks again.